Hi Gemini, welcome to your August 2016 General Tarot reading. I got the same final card from, I think it was Libra. Okay, so the overall energy is the Queen of Pentacles. This is a card of financial abundance. The Pentacles tends to relate to all kinds of material things. Usually money, career, can relate to the body, and therefore to, the extension of that, which would be the sex life. If I'm talking about a romantic situation, it can relate to earth sign individuals, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Let me just continue to set the scene and the story. We have the Wheel of Fortune with the Knight of Swords. Well, you're an air sign, and so you could be that Knight of Swords. If you're involved with somebody who is a Sagittarian, this card, the Wheel of Fortune, connects with Jupiter, and Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So it may be one of those things where it's kind of like an indirect message in that sense, that this is the past position, you were involved with somebody who was a Sagittarian, and this is your opposite sign. But it could be that you have, maybe you have been coming out of a rather difficult period, and now you are involved with somebody who is a fellow air sign, another Gemini or a Libra, Aquarius. In the area of work, that Wheel of Fortune and the Queen of Pentacles seem to be quite consistent in terms of financial abundance. So you may have, some of you may have started some sort of job that's related to a legal profession, like a lawyer, or where you have to talk for a living and advocate for other people. Kind of like, it could be in social justice in some way, where you are defending people in terms of, causes. So, I guess you could say even it could be like a social worker, but it's almost like a zealot, somebody who is like arguing on behalf of others. So this is why I say like a lawyer, or somebody who really uses their words to, make money. But that's the past position. That has led to this financially abundant card, or this really grounded energy, this kind of, it's an Earth Mother energy. It reminds me of the Empress in a lot of ways, because the Queen is the mother archetype, the Queen relates to the mother. So some of you, your mothers may be featured in August for some reason, or maybe you are going to become a mother. Let me just keep going. And so for the current, and this is like during the time of August, it would be the King of Cups and the Judgment card. So it could be that some of you are leaving relationships with, and it could be you're the father of your child. We have the King, we have the Queen. It's like having parents. So that could have been a water sign relationship that didn't work out. With the Judgment card, I feel like in some cases it didn't work out because it's almost like this, I don't want to say karmic because it's actually happening right now. It's kind of like this reaction or, cause and effect. And it's the Judgment is about rebirth. So it can go either way. Maybe some of you are getting out of relationships with either a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or somebody with that kind of watery energy, empathic, dreamy, creative person. You're getting away from somebody like that. Or it could mean that this is part of your rebirth. The Wheel of Fortune is like a new phase. You're on the up swing. And then the Judgment card is that kind of a new phase that you're going to be getting into in terms of feeling like you have left the old behind, and it's a purification of sorts, And so that King of Cups could be part of the reason why you feel that you're able to do so. So, the person could either be somebody that you're leaving or somebody that you're going towards. The higher perspective is the Four of Cups. I guess I should do a close-up. The Four of Cups is about, not having a sense of excitement about your life. And so whatever happened in the past that may have contributed to that, I think that you probably were able to experience the contrast in terms of how you felt and how you wanted to feel, and that led to you having a rather stable financial situation going on. And actually not just stable, but abundant. Or you could say in the emotional arena, having a relationship that really is something that you can feel good about. Where, the Four of Cups is like this very, what's the word? It's like fed up and disinterested type of way of feeling. And it's like such a yucky way to be. Because there's no joy there. There's no zest for life itself. And so for some reason you're feeling that way. I do feel that this Judgment card is related to divorce for some of you, or any kind of situation where you had to enlist a legal professional, something to get out of a relationship, or in the workplace to maybe you got some sort of I think with work, it's more of a validation, particularly from the higher up person. So the King of Cups might be a boss or somebody who has a higher position than you that may have either stuck up for you or who recommended you if you were going to move to another company or another division inside of the company. What crosses you is the Two of Pentacles. So the challenge is some of you, if you are still at a place of employment that you're not happy about and you still have this, type of mentality, you may be thinking of another way to make money. And the question will be, how can you balance your responsibilities? Especially if you have a day job, you may be concerned that you're not going to have enough time for anything else. For other people, this may be mulling over a job offer or some kind of decision that you have to make related to your finances that is kind of hard. Some of you may be involved with an earth sign individual. The Queen of Pentacles may be the person. So it could be a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, that you have to choose between that person and somebody else. Maybe a water sign or maybe an air sign specifically. And so I had just done Libra's reading, and I was talking about how Libra is notorious for having trouble making up its mind. And Gemini, I don't think that you are necessarily like that, but you are a mutable air sign, so you are very flexible in your thoughts, and I think for you it's more of an ADD thing where you have so many interests that it's, typical. I'm sure it's typical for a lot of you to have two jobs or maybe even more and have all these irons in the fire, and maybe that can get a little hectic at times. But I honestly think that there may be some of you who are debating on moving, because the card that indicates the mental state, this isn't necessarily like an action, advice for action, but more of like your mentality to adopt, is a Six of Swords. So I do feel that you need to prepare yourself for the possibility of leaving a situation. This could be a job. Now, if the Six of Swords relates to going away from a troubled environment, an environment filled with strife. So if this does not relate to a particular personal relationship or the company that you work for, then you probably will not be as inclined to leave at this time. This is more for people who are in a real bind, who are dealing with a lot of stress where they work or in a relationship. And it may be saying that you need to make a space in your mind for eventually leaving. It may not be right now that you'll be doing it, but it may be in the near future that things will open up perhaps where you will feel that you can do so. And remember too that we just had these two full moons in Sagittarius consecutively in May and June. So that would have hit your 7th house of relationships, and that may have been kind of like, for some of you, the final blows to the relationship, because you may have found out things about a partner. You may have just come to the realization on your own about the relationship and realize that it wasn't what you thought it was. The advice is the Knight of Wands. I refuse to say rods for whatever reason. The Knight of Wands, and so this is advising you to be brave and to go for what you want. It's kind of like the antithesis to that card, that Four of Cups, because the Knight of Wands is really excited about things. The Knight of Wands is somebody who is rushing into a situation enthusiastically, not cautiously. And that can, of course, lead to its own problems. But it's a fire sign energy, so for some people, maybe there is a fire sign person that you have kind of put on the back burner, or maybe, like I said, that Sagittarius full moon, which is your 7th house, maybe there's even a Sagittarian. I mentioned that at the beginning of the relationship. Maybe that person is really the person for you, but it's almost like you are, you're still kind of not sure about it, especially if there's somebody else in the picture on your end of things. Some of you may not want to give up another person. Gemini is a sign of the twins, and a lot of Geminis seem to like twos or pairs of things, including people maybe. Maybe, most of you would be part of a triad more than just a couple, because you like pairs, you like twos. But in any case, I think that at the very least, it could be showing that you need to follow your bliss. Go towards what makes your heart sing. Don't, whatever makes you feel indifferent about life, that is telling you what you need to go away from. Simple as that. The outcome, Seven of Swords, like I just got for, I think it was Libra. And that's like, that, you know, that in this context, I feel like you're going to do your own thing. You're not going to worry about what other people think, and you're going to just forge your own path. And that's very commonplace for Gemini anyway. Gemini isn't really into conforming to other people's expectations. It may not be as rebellious as Aquarius, but you guys do your own thing typically. And it also can mean that you're going to be a little bit tight-lipped about it. And, you know, whereas normally you would broadcast it to the world, every move that you're making, maybe now you're going to lay low a little bit because you want everything to go according to plan. And you don't want any kind of slip-ups. So it's ending, you know, it's like an active ending to the reading. So it's almost like to be continued. I got like, how many major arcana? I got 2 major arcana, which is fine, but it may not be the month where everything just happens to you. Maybe that is coming up in September or one of the months before the end of the year, where there will be much more movement happening, but there may be positioning that you have to do. So we will see, won't we, Gemini? I hope some of that made sense to you. If you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below. Otherwise, have a great August, you guys. Bye.